Hi everyone, this is Jennifer from the Healing Connection. I'm a dietitian and I just wanted to explain the online meal planning document to you. So what you're looking at right here is the exchange page, and it just kind of breaks down what falls into which exchange and what is the portion size for something. So going from left to right, this is the starch category. The starch category are different things like bread, cereals, pastas, etc. And typically a standard size of a starch serving is going to be 1/2 cup. But you can see that things like French toast, a regular slice is going to be 1 because it's made from 1 piece of bread. So we're working on normalizing portions of different food groups and accounting for the energy that is being taken in by the body. Over here we have the protein category, and you might notice that cheese and tofu and yogurt are in the protein category, things that we don't typically think of when we think of protein. But in the exchange system, we are recognizing that even though these might fall under yogurt and cheese specifically, the dairy group, if we're looking at this from the USDA's MyPlate format, these food items also provide our body with protein. And so if we are consuming these, they can be a source of protein. Once again, the portion sizes for all of those are listed here. For fats, we have a variety of different fats: cream cheese, dressings, guacamole, mayo, nut butter, nut seeds, oils, olives, pesto, shredded cheese, and sour cream. So there are a great variety of fats, and once we get to meal planning, you can see how we can vary them throughout the day. This is an integral part of the meal plan and must be included. If your loved one struggles with this group in particular, definitely start with what is easier and work your way up with them, incorporating them in. In the vegetables category, it looks a little skimpy, like there aren't very many vegetables, but we've just lumped them together. So if you see here, vegetables cooked, the standard size is 1/2 cup. That's because vegetables tend to cook down from their raw form. One of the exceptions of that would be carrots. Excuse me. Salad is a little bit different because it goes with lettuce or greens. So if you think about spinach or lettuce or escarole or anything that's a little bit on the fluffier side, when you do that volume measurement, you're not going to pack those leaves into a measuring cup. So you're going to leave it a little bit more free-form, which is why you need a greater serving size of a leafy green comparative to tomatoes, for instance. In the dairy group, we do have all of those standard dairy items you think of: cheese, cottage cheese, yogurt, milk, and also some of the dairy substitutes. So if you'll notice with almond milk, you actually need to double the portion comparative to a glass of 2% or whole milk, because you're not getting the nutrients that from almond milk that you would get from cow's milk. So we're thinking protein, calcium, fat-soluble vitamins, and even, if we're going to say the C word, calories. So that's why we ask that if you're going to be incorporating milk alternatives, that you kind of touch base with me and just double check that you're getting the right volume, as well as there's a good need for it. Sometimes participants will say that they are lactose intolerant, when in fact they just haven't consumed dairy in a significant amount of time, and so their body has decreased lactose production in order to conserve energy. So something to think about. In the fruit category, typically your standard fruit size is going to be 1. So if you think about hand fruits like apples, oranges, bananas, you only need to eat 1 to have it count as 1 fruit. If we're looking at melon, for instance, like let's scoot down here to watermelon, you don't need to eat the whole watermelon. So that's where it would break down a little bit more into a portion size. So just double check those as you go, and use your best judgment in meal planning with your loved one, especially if you have a large apple, for instance. If you have a Big Joe apple, which is typically the size of 2 apples, yes, in that instance, you can have half of the apple be 1 fruit, but a standard apple is 1 fruit. Over here we have combination foods. So combination foods are things that combine the different exchange groups. So a lot of these are recipes, and you can click on these links and visit at our website. Some of them are just things that are commonly found in our society and things that you might make, like s'mores, for instance. One s'more could count as one sweet, one dessert, or one of the other categories. Or if you wanted to break it down, you could also have that represent a portion of the starch exchange. It wouldn't be a whole exchange on its own, as well as an other. Let's look at another example. So hummus, 1/4 cup, knowing that hummus is made from chickpeas and tahini or sesame oil, is 1 protein, 1 fat. So we're accounting for the fact that hummus is from chickpeas or garbanzo beans, and as such has protein, but also that we're mixing it with enough oil to count as a fat serving. Similar to, let's see if we can find it, peanut butter. So if you hit Control F and you type in what you're looking for, there it is, you can find a specific food item. So peanut butter in a 2 tablespoon serving is 1 protein and 2 fats. If you only have 1 tablespoon of protein, or excuse me, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, then it is only 1 fat. So in this instance, we're saying that by doubling peanut butter, we can have additional exchanges in that serving. But if you're having half of that, then you're not getting enough protein to count as a serving of protein in that 1 tablespoon. Over here in the other category, we have snack foods, desserts, and other foods that don't typically fit into the other exchange categories. This category tends to be difficult for participants because it is where a good portion of fear foods or the eating disorders fear foods can be found. So thinking about desserts, snack foods, Cheetos, chocolate chip cookies, things like that, you might get a struggle on incorporating this group, but it is a requirement, and it is a requirement on a daily basis. If you or your loved one have questions about what an other can be, feel free to send me an email or give me a call. I'm more than happy to process what can go into that category. This free foods or free foods item list, these are different things that you would have to eat an exorbitant amount of them in order for them to count as an exchange. So taking ketchup, for instance, we know that ketchup is made from tomatoes as well as vinegar and sugar. However, most people don't typically consume 1 to 2 cups of ketchup, which is what would be closest to the serving size of a fruit or a vegetable. So for ketchup, as long as it's not in incredibly inappropriate quantity, we consider this a free item, so they can add it to meals in order to enhance the flavor and make eating more enjoyable, something we definitely want to work on. So go ahead and take a look at that list and see if you can incorporate that or if you have other questions. So if we're going to open up our day meal plan, all of your days are down here at the bottom. And if you and your loved one are planning for meals in the partial program, you might see something a little bit different over here where it articulates a letter. But for this video, we will just incorporate all of these exchanges up here. So in starches, for breakfast, let's say we had toast, and we're going to plan 2 slices. We know that bread counts as 1 slice per 1 starch. So we have our 2 starches planned for the meal, and we have 2 starches planned for the day. For protein, we'll have 2 eggs, scrambled maybe, I don't know, however you want to prepare your eggs is fine. Counts as 2 proteins. So butter, 2 teaspoons, maybe 1 teaspoon to cook the eggs in and 1 teaspoon to split between the toast. So there you have 2 fats. I'm going to have that with milk, 1 cup, and that is my dairy for the meal. And then I would like a banana on the side, 1 fruit. So skipping down to lunch, let's take a look at this. Say I wanted to have a sandwich for lunch. Bread, 2 slices, counts as 2 starches. 3 proteins. If I wanted a turkey sandwich, turkey, 3 1-ounce slices, counts as 3 proteins. And now I want 2 fats. So I personally love cheese, so I would say cheese, 2 slices on my sandwich. That can also count as a fat, so I will put 1 fat there, but I don't want a naked sandwich. So down here I have this extra fat for if I would like to vary from that. And so I will add mayo, 1 tablespoon, another fat. For my vegetables, I will have a salad. So if you remember from previously, we have salad is 1.5 cups. So going back over here, salad over there. For my fruit, I'd like, let's see, I'll have an apple. And then I have this other category. Also looking at this, I have a naked salad. So in this instance, I am also going to add 1 tablespoon dressing for my salad. I'm going over the fat allotment right there, but also recognizing I can take this out of my snacks. So for my other category, if I go back over here, what could I add into that lunch? I can add, let's see, goldfish. So 45 little goldfish crackers. 45 fish is one other. Okay. Down here for dinner, say I was going to have pasta. Serving size for 1 starch is 1/2 cup. But let's be real, nobody has just a 1/2 cup of pasta. So I'm going to have 1 full cup for my protein. Let's see, I'm going to have meatballs. 3 1-ounce meatballs gives me 3 proteins. Fats, I personally enjoy pesto, so I will have 1 tablespoon. And then I see that I have vegetables, so I'm going to have butter, 1 teaspoon. My 2 fats there. Vegetables, let's say broccoli, 1 cup. It's going to be cooked because a 1/2 cup of broccoli is 1 vegetable. So those are my 2 vegetables. Dairy, I'm going to add mozzarella cheese. And if we go back over here, cheese, let's see, in my dairy category, cheese shredded, 1/4 cup is the serving. So 1/4 cup can count as my dairy, and then I have this fruit here. Now I don't really think that I need a fruit right there, so I will actually pop that into a different stack. So we have all 3 of our main meals planned, and only 1 of these groups is lit up green. So I still need 2 dairies, 2 fruits, a vegetable, 2 fats, a protein, and 2 starches. So let's plan out a snack. So I would like yogurt, 1 container, like the 6-ounce style that you can get at Wegmans. So that would be an additional dairy. I would like berries to go in that yogurt. That's fruit. Granola, 1/4 cup, goes into starch. Let's see here. And I would like, I think that's good for a snack right there. So if we scoot down here, I can have crackers. If I want wheat thins, that's approximately 6. Excuse me, Triscuits is 6. So I've hit my starch is, for protein, I'm going to do 2 ounces of cheese, and I'm going to count that as my protein. For my fat, let's look over here. And I can add some guacamole, 2 tablespoons. You know what, let's get crazy, and we'll say 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. So that's where I got that. And now I've met my fat for the day. And then I can do cucumbers, 1 cup because they're raw. at my vegetable, and let's see, I could have a glass of milk. Let's add that in, and I have this fruit left. So, looking through all of my other meals, I can add a cup of, or a glass, I should say, because the serving size of orange juice is not 1 cup, it is half cup. And there, I have met all of the requirements, and that is how you use the online meal plan. If your loved one likes to have smaller volume of food at any given time, you can incorporate this third snack option. But feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I'm more than happy to go over this with you.